everyone and welcome to my fan card. It's Friday. Okay, today we'll be making this baby card. It seems to go out of focus when I come closer to the camera, so we're going to stick to it just being on here. So I used some new paper from Stampin. It's called Polka Dot Parade, and it's just the most beautiful colour range you'll ever come across of polka dots. It's got your real red, Marina Mist, rich razzleberry, daffodil delight, pumpkin, that'd be pumpkin pie, and old olive. And it's double-sided like all a Stampin' Up paper, and it has larger dots on the other side, and it's just such a beautiful paper to play with. This card we're making today, we're just using two colours. It's going to be Whisper White and Marina Mist, and we're using just a half of an A4 Whisper White cardstock, and we're going to use it landscape. I know I don't often do cards this way, but I just figured it would be beautiful having this kind of card today. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to adhere down using the trusty snail 4 panels of this Polka Dot Parade Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to adhere that down. So what I do is when I put stick panels down, I tend to go outside panels first and then inside panels. It just kind of works for me in making sure they're lined up. And you'll hear heavy footsteps in the background, which is my little puppy dog. Well, she's not a puppy, she's 16 years old, little Staffy, and it's about 5:30 in the morning here on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. I did film this last night, but because I filmed it at night, the image was just poor quality, and that's why you've seen the final product of the card, whereas I usually just make the card along the way. So I was disappointed that it didn't work last night, because now I'm working during the day instead of night shifts. I was trying to get the filming done during the night. However, the lighting is really bad. Alright, so just making sure that is down like that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the Big Shot, and I'm going to use the Labels collection. And I don't know if you can see, but behind here I've run the Whisper White cardstock through the Big Shot after the die with the embossing folder, the designer frames. So so I run my 2 pieces through the Big Shot. This Whisper White cardstock that I've cut out in the Labels collection, I'm actually just going to place it in the designer series frame and placing it into the center as much as I can. I'm going to run that through the Big Shot light. Alright, so I ran that through the Big Shot, and you can see that it's got the designer series frame on it. Okay, so what I need to do now is just setting aside some pieces. I need to do some stamping. Now I am using an old stamp set. Now this stamp set is called Stitch Stockings. This was from last year's Christmas catalogue, but I've needed to make a baby card, a couple actually this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use that stamp set, and I am going to use the matching or the coordinating punch it came with, the Stockings punch. The colour I'm going to use is Marina Mist. Now, making sure that you're stamping on the Whisper White cardstock. Now, I'm going to stamp them on the same side along the bottom. However, when you punch it out, oh, that one didn't turn out as well as I like. When you punch it out, oh, that's little Tasha in the background. She's up. I was trying to beat her from being up, but looks like I missed my chance. When you punch out, because this stocking punch has some sections along the other side, you wouldn't want to punch out this side then work your way along here. So just grabbing my paper snips, I'm going to cut along there And I'm going to, because this stocking's on an angle, I'm going to have to come in on an angle. Alright, so making sure that's lined up. And I'm going to do that twice. Like that. Now, so I need 2 stockings because I'm going to make a little booty. So I've seen these stitch stockings made in little booties, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut along this little lacy bit at the top, and I think it's a bit too glary in here, so I'm going to change the glare. But I'm going to cut the little lacies on the top off, and then I'm going to bring it down. Okay, so this is what I mean. I've cut that lacy bit out, so I fussy cutted the top section because I wanted to keep that scallop look, but I've also cut an extra panel off of each stocking, and to turn it into a booty I'm going to snail the back of these and place it down like that, so it looks more like a booty than a big sock. Alright, so now I'm going to use my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to, because this has been embossed, this white section, Whisper White cardstock, I don't want to use the snail because you press down when you slide the snail along, and I don't want to ruin the embossing impression that I made. So I'm putting a dimensionals on for this one. Just making sure that's center before you press down, always a good idea. Like that. And I am putting dimensionals on the little booties. Now I've seen this done heaps of times where these on the internet and Pinterest where these stitch stockings were made as booties. So I thought, oh, since I need baby cards this week, that's what I'll be doing. So I made a pink one, a pink little onesie card, and a little boy one for a little boy that got born on Tuesday it was. Okay, so that's going to be adhered down. Now that's going to be okay for me to press down here. I'm not ruining anything. To here, that in the centre. I'm actually going to bring these booties a little bit more down because I'm going to want the signage, if I can. I'm going to want the signage there, little baby sign. So hopefully I haven't wrecked that. There we go. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use my modern label punch. Now with this punch I'm going to stamp in Whisper White. I am going to use a new stamp set, and this word baby is from the 1 in a Million, and what they do is they have coordinating little phrase to go in the inside of the card. Oh, you can hear Tatra in the background yelling out. So please excuse my adorable little almost 2-year-old girl. Making sure that's inked up. And grabbing my modern label punch. Oh, and she's becoming very boisterous lately, so alright, so that was the word baby punched out in with the modern label punch, and then just grabbing my Marina Mist cardstock, I'm going to punch it out as well. So what I'm going to do is, to get more out of your punches, I'm going to cut this Marina Mist cardstock in half, snail along the back of these, and I'm going to use this as a little border. So I'm leaving about a 1 and probably 1 7/8. Just a little slither border on either side. Like that. And then I'm going to use some foam dimensionals again. Now I actually might put 3 along there. Like that. Alright, so now I'm going to use from the basic, like the pearl range that we've got, the little tiny bubby ones. I'm just going to place that on the edge on either side. Little tiny pearls. Isn't that cute? So just put a little feature of pearls on the side. And then I've got Marina Mist. Now this is called the Scallop Dots ribbon. Now when I tie a bow, especially because I want to see this particular side, and when I feed it through, if I feed it through that way, you're going to see that side. I twist along the back and hold that twisted bit along the back, if that makes sense. So I've twisted it along the back, so this comes forward and I'm seeing the scallop dots. So I'm just feeding that through and then pulling it through tight and making sure that it stays flat. Alright, so then I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors. Again, my ribbon scissors are only used for ribbon. I don't use it for anything else. No cardstock, nothing, to keep it in sharp quality. And to sustain the longevity of your scissors, you use your paper snips for your cardstock and your everyday use. Now, since I twisted this at the back, you can untwist it. If it gets twisted along the front as you're tightening it, I'm just grabbing my paper snips so it can be flattened a little bit along the top here, so you can see some of that scallop. Beautiful. Oh, now I'm just going to glue dot that down. I'm going to put 2 glue dots on the back of this, just because it's scallop and it's like a grosgrain type of ribbon, so it's fairly thick, and I want to make sure that it adheres down and doesn't move on the card or when I put it in the post box. Alright, so because this stamp set has a coordinating stamp, the baby one is Baby, a little world filled with a lot of happiness. So I'm going to stamp on the inside of this card as well. So it's not something I do very often, but I thought it'd be a nice touch to follow through with the card along the inside. So just using my Marina Mist and just stamping along the middle with the coordinating. Now another thing too is I also thought I'd just stick down, this is a little slither of the same Designer Series cardstock, Designer Series paper, is stick down a little slither along the side here just to carry that polka dot theme on. Because it is just a tiny slither, my snail's too thick for that, I'm going to run it along with some Tombow mono adhesive. Grab the inside of the card. Now I'm going to line that up on one of the lines, making sure I'm doing the same and lining it up. So because I use Tombow mono adhesive, it is liquid, so I've got to make sure I give it a couple of more seconds for that to rest and to set. It only takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to leave that, and then I'm going to snip these here. I've got my long hair in the scissors. Okay. And one last thing I'm going to do is I've made, using the Frost White Shimmer Paint and using Icicle into these new spritzer bottles that Stampin' Up! Are selling, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love these. I'm going to have to grab a couple more because I love spritzing my bottle, my cards, and especially with shimmer. So the shimmer paint and Icicle's just in there, just giving it a mist. Like, I only put the tiniest bit of shimmer paint in here. I think it was like 3 drops. And this was then full with Icicle, which is like an alcohol substance. You know, when you go to the chemist and you get a sore and you put an alcohol there to clean up your sore, that's what I put in there. And I'm just going to, I'm not going to scare you guys and spray directly on my mat. I'm going to just put some copy paper and I'm going to hold it out about probably 20 centimeters because it's quite a heavy spray. Like it's a really good spray, so you don't have to be close and at all because it's a powerful spray. I learnt that last night. Okay, so you'll see this in the I'll add a picture to the YouTube tutorial of the end product because I found this was really nice afterwards, and the photo is just beautiful. It shows the real shimmers in there as well. Alright, so thanks for watching. Thank God it's Friday, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. And don't forget to visit my Facebook site and my blog if you want to see like the project recipes. Okay, see you later.